Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a deep dive into a world of drama and romance and, oh, so many twists and turns.
Intrigue.
Intrigue. We're talking about the wild world of soap operas.
You might think soap operas are just like fluffy entertainment,
Right.
but there's actually a lot more to them than meets the eye.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Okay.
Like, how did these shows even get the name soap operas?
That's a great place to start. So the term actually comes from the early days of radio.
Okay.
Imagine like the 1930s, you're a housewife and you're listening to your favorite radio show.
Uh-huh.
And who do you think was sponsoring these shows?
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
Soap manufacturers.
It makes total sense.
Yeah, they knew that their target audience was right there,
Right.
just captivated by these tales of love and loss and family drama.
So it was like the ultimate targeted advertising.
Exactly.
Get people hooked on the drama while they're doing dishes or, folding laundry.
Exactly. And one of the very first soap operas to really capture the public's imagination was Painted Dreams, which debuted on radio in 1930.
Wow, 1930.
Almost a century of continuous drama.
A century, that's wild. No wonder they've developed such intricate storylines and characters.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a parallel universe.
It really is. And speaking of parallel universes,
Yeah?
you'd be surprised at the variety you find within the world of soap operas.
Oh, really?
So American soaps, they tend to gravitate towards the wealthy and glamorous.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a modern-day fairy tale.
Right. Okay.
But if you look at soap operas from the UK and Australia, you find a very different landscape.
Okay, that's interesting. So what makes them so different?
Well, UK and Australian soaps, they tend to focus on working class communities and those like everyday challenges that people face. So I think family conflicts, financial struggles, relationship breakdowns.
So it's less about escapism and more about reflecting real life, even if it's heightened for dramatic effect.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different flavor of drama rooted in social realism.
Right.
And this difference in focus, it might have something to do with the cultural and historical context of these shows.
Okay.
Like in the UK, for instance, soap operas have long been a staple of working class life,
Yeah.
a way to see their stories and struggles represented on screen.
Okay, yeah. So it's like the shows are almost like a mirror to society, reflecting the values and concerns of their audiences.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's a glittering penthouse in New York or a cozy pub in London,
Yeah.
many soap operas create a specific environment for their stories,
Okay.
especially those in the U.S.
So like hospitals or law firms?
Exactly. General Hospital, The Doctors, are classic examples of the hospital-based soap, where, life and death decisions are just intertwined with personal drama.
Of course.
And shows like As the World Turns use the setting of a law practice to explore themes of justice and morality and power dynamics.
It's fascinating how these specific settings almost create this like microcosm of society with all of its complexities and conflicts.
Absolutely. But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Some soaps venture into the supernatural. They kind of blend the everyday with elements of fantasy and the occult.
Wait, like vampires and witches on daytime TV?
Yes.
That's a twist I wasn't expecting.
entry from shows like Dark Shadows and Port Charles and Passions. They weren't afraid to push the boundaries, introducing supernatural elements, gothic storylines into the mix.
So they're not just about reflecting reality, they're also creating these fantastical worlds that allow viewers to escape into something completely different.
Exactly.
That's
It's
it.
all about finding that perfect balance between the familiar and the unexpected, the real and the surreal.
It makes you wonder what really draws viewers to these shows.
Yeah.
Aside from the escapism, right?
Huh?
What are the signature elements that make a soap opera? A soap opera.
Well, melodrama and sentimentality are definitely key ingredients.
Okay.
So think, over-the-top reactions, tearful confessions, dramatic confrontations that leave you on the edge of your seat.
It's like real life, but amplified.
Exactly.
All those like intense emotions and those tangled relationships and those secrets that threaten to like unravel everything.
You got it.
Yeah.
Soap operas thrive on heightened emotions and dramatic plot lines, keeping viewers invested in the characters and their ever-evolving relationships.
Yeah.
And, of course, no soap opera would be complete without the cliffhangers.
Oh, it's like the ultimate tune in tomorrow strategy. Right?
Yeah.
Leaving you wondering what's going to happen next and just desperate to find out.
Absolutely. And to keep things exciting, unexpected twists are a must.
Okay.
A long-lost child appearing out of nowhere, a natural disaster interrupting a wedding,
Oh my God.
A sudden illness that changes everything. These twists and turns are the lifeblood of soap operas.
Yeah, it's like a roller coaster of emotions. You never know what's coming next.
Exactly. And the fact that these shows run for years, even decades,
Right.
allows for some truly intricate and complex storylines to develop. You're not just watching a single story, you're becoming part of a world that's constantly evolving. It's like stepping into this living, breathing tapestry of interwoven lives and destinies.
It is.
But these worlds don't remain static, do they?
No.
How have soap operas evolved over time?
That's a great question. So early soap operas, as you might imagine, were heavily focused on family and marital issues,
Okay.
mirroring the social norms of the time.
It makes sense, right? They were reflecting the realities of their audiences and the societal expectations that shaped their lives.
Precisely. But as society evolved, so did soap operas.
Mm-hmm.
They began incorporating more social issues into their storylines, tackling topics that were often considered taboo or controversial at the time.
Oh, wow. Can you give us some examples?
Well, one of the earliest examples comes from The Guiding Light in the 1960s.
Okay.
The main character, Bert Bauer, was diagnosed with uterine cancer.
Wow.
It was a bold move for the time, and it had a huge impact. To think that a soap opera was addressing such a sensitive topic back then,
I know.
it must have been groundbreaking.
It was. And you know what's really interesting?
Hi.
The storyline encouraged women to get pap smears.
Oh, wow.
So it really demonstrated the potential power of these shows to raise awareness and influence behavior.
So they weren't just reflecting society, they were actively engaging with it,
Exactly.
sparking conversations, challenging norms.
Exactly. And that trend continued
Yeah.
with soap operas tackling issues like alcoholism, drug addiction, AIDS,
Wow.
LGBTQ plus rights, just to name a few.
It's fascinating how these shows have acted as a barometer of social change,
Yeah.
reflecting the evolving values and concerns of our society.
Absolutely. And that ability to adapt and address contemporary issues is part of what has kept them relevant for so many decades.
Right.
They're not afraid to push boundaries and spark conversations, which is something we'll explore further in part 2.
I love it. This is already so insightful, and I can't wait to dive deeper. But before we move on to part 2,
Okay.
let's switch gears just a bit
Okay.
and talk about the unique storytelling techniques that make soap operas so visually distinct.
Okay.
What are some of the things that set them apart from other forms of television drama?
That's a great point. American daytime soaps, in particular, have a very distinctive visual grammar,
Okay.
a way of using camera work and editing to heighten the drama and keep viewers glued to the screen.
What do you mean by visual grammar?
Think about those rapid cuts between different conversations,
Uh-huh.
the close-ups on characters' faces as they react to these shocking revelations,
Okay.
and those pregnant pauses that leave you hanging on every word.
So it's all about building suspense and drawing the viewer into the emotional intensity of the scene.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's a very deliberate style that creates a sense of intimacy and immediacy, making you feel like you're right there in the room with the characters as their world unfolds.
It's like being a fly on the wall, witnessing all the drama unfold in real time.
Exactly. And another interesting characteristic is that the action rarely leaves interior settings.
Okay.
We're talking living rooms, bedrooms, offices, hospital rooms.
Uh-huh.
Those confined spaces where relationships are tested and secrets are revealed.
It's like the setting itself becomes a character,
Yes.
trapping the characters and intensifying their interactions.
That's a great way to put it. Location shoots are relatively uncommon in American daytime soaps.
Okay.
You know, they keep the focus on the characters and their relationships, allowing those intimate moments to take center stage. But if we look at British and Australian soaps,
Yeah.
we see a different approach.
Oh, that's interesting. What sets them apart?
Well, they tend to incorporate more exterior shots, showcasing the streets, pubs, and natural landscapes of their communities.
Oh.
It creates a sense of place and grounding, connecting the characters to their environment, and highlighting that social realism that we talked about earlier.
So it's about showing the world that these characters inhabit, the world that shapes their lives and influences their choices.
Exactly. It adds another layer of depth and richness to the storytelling, creating a more holistic portrait of their lives and experiences.
This is so fascinating. I'm already starting to see soap operas in a new light. But before we get completely lost in this world of drama, let's take a quick break. When we come back in part 2, we'll explore the global reach of soap operas, from the UK's soap opera obsession to the surprising popularity of Turkish dramas around the world. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing how American soaps tend to stick to those intimate interior settings.
Right, it's like their worlds are almost stage-like. The focus is so tightly on the characters and their interactions.
That's a great observation. But if we hop across the pond to the UK, the picture changes quite a bit.
Okay.
British soap operas are known for embracing a more gritty social realism.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about what sets British soaps apart.
Well, they often feature working-class characters facing very relatable everyday challenges.
Okay.
Job losses, family feuds, financial worries, the kind of things that resonate with a wide audience.
So it's less about aspirational fantasy
Mm-hmm.
and more about like a heightened version of everyday life.
Exactly. And visually, they incorporate more exterior shots, bringing you into the streets and pubs and parks of these communities.
Okay.
You really get a feel for the environment that shapes these characters' lives.
It's like the setting becomes another character, influencing the mood and the tone of the storylines.
You got it. And the pacing is often faster than American daytime soaps, with multiple storylines unfolding simultaneously,
Okay.
keeping you on the edge of your seat.
So there's a sense of urgency and immediacy that pulls you in.
Precisely. Now, Australian soap operas offer kind of a fascinating blend of these styles.
Oh, okay.
They often feature a mix of middle-class and working-class characters.
Okay.
And like British soaps, they make great use of Australia's stunning landscapes.
So you get a bit of escapism with those beautiful visuals.
Yeah,
But the characters and their problems still feel grounded in reality.
exactly. It's a unique flavor that has captivated audiences worldwide. And speaking of captivating audiences,
Yes.
it's incredible how soap operas, despite all the changes in the entertainment landscape,
Right.
have managed to hold on to their devoted fan bases for so long.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
What's the secret to their enduring appeal? What keeps people tuning in year after year, decade after decade?
Well, I think it boils down to a few key factors. First and foremost, soap operas tap into our fundamental human need for connection.
Okay.
They create a sense of community, both on screen and among viewers.
Yeah, it's like you're part of this big extended family sharing in the joys and sorrows of these characters' lives.
Exactly. You get invested in their triumphs, you mourn their losses,
Yeah.
you celebrate their weddings and births. It's a powerful emotional experience that transcends the screen.
And it creates a sense of shared experience among viewers, giving them something to discuss and bond over.
Absolutely. It's a social phenomenon, a way for people to connect with each other over shared passions and storylines.
Yeah.
And another reason for soap opera's lasting appeal is their willingness to tackle social issues in a relatable way.
Right. We talked about how they've addressed everything from cancer to AIDS to LGBTQ plus rights.
Exactly. And by weaving these issues into their storylines, they've helped to raise awareness, foster dialogue, and even challenge social norms.
So they've played a role in shaping public opinion and promoting understanding.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the pure entertainment value.
Right.
The drama, the romance, the betrayals, the cliffhangers. It's addictive.
Oh, it's like a guilty pleasure, you know?
Yes.
A way to escape into a world where emotions run high and anything can happen.
Precisely. They offer a heightened version of reality where good eventually triumphs over evil and justice prevails, even if it takes several episodes or even seasons to get there.
Right. It's like a cathartic release, a way to experience those intense emotions vicariously through the characters.
Exactly. Now, you mentioned the UK's particular obsession with soap operas.
Yes.
They've really turned soap fandom into a national pastime.
Yeah. I've heard they even have, like, their own award shows dedicated to soap operas.
Yes,
That's serious dedication.
it is. And you know what else is unique about British soaps?
What?
They've consistently pushed the boundaries of what's considered acceptable on television,
Okay.
tackling controversial storylines head on.
Oh, tell me more. What kinds of controversial storylines have they explored?
Well, shows like Brookside and EastEnders have tackled issues like domestic violence,
Wow.
drug addiction, homelessness, and even murder,
Oh, wow.
often sparking heated debates and challenging viewers to confront uncomfortable truths.
So, wow, they're not afraid to get real and gritty, exploring the darker side of human experience.
Not at all. And in doing so, they've earned both praise and criticism.
Right.
Some people applaud their boldness, while others find them too sensationalistic or disturbing.
It's like they're holding up a mirror to society, reflecting not just the idealized version, but also the harsh realities that many people face.
Exactly. And that willingness to spark conversations and challenge social norms is part of what makes British soap operas so compelling.
Yeah.
They're not just entertainment.
Right.
They're a reflection of our evolving values and a catalyst for social change.
It's fascinating how these shows can entertain and provoke at the same time.
Now, let's shift our focus to another fascinating aspect of soap operas, their evolution beyond the traditional television format.
Okay.
As we touched upon earlier, the internet and mobile phones have opened up a whole new world of possibilities for soap opera storytelling.
Right. It's amazing how we can now stream episodes on demand and catch up on missed storylines and even interact with the shows and characters online.
Uh-huh.
It's a whole new level of engagement.
Exactly. And some soap operas have even been created specifically for online platforms, catering to a digital savvy audience that wants to consume their drama on the go.
So they're adapting to the changing media landscape and finding new ways to reach viewers.
They are. It's a testament to the genre's resilience and adaptability.
Yeah.
And it's not just about digital platforms. Some soap operas have been released as straight-to-video features, often exploring more mature and complex storylines that might not be suitable for broadcast television.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're pushing the boundaries in terms of content and themes, catering to a wider range of tastes and preferences.
They are. It's an interesting development in the evolution of the genre, showing how it continues to reinvent itself and stay relevant in a constantly changing media landscape.
It seems like soap operas are constantly finding new ways to captivate and engage audiences, whether it's through traditional television, digital platforms, or even straight-to-video releases. It's a testament to their enduring appeal and their ability to adapt to the times.
It is. They're masters of adaptation and innovation. And that's why I believe they'll continue to captivate audiences for many years to come. Now, in our final part, we'll delve into how soap operas, for all their drama and escapism, hold a mirror up to society, reflecting our anxieties, our aspirations, and our evolving understanding of ourselves.
I can't wait to uncover those deeper layers.
We're back for our final look into the world of soap operas. It's amazing how we've gone from soap sponsors on the radio to streaming on demand. But you know what's really struck me is how these shows, for all their over-the-top drama, often tap into very real social currents.
What's fascinating is how soap operas, despite their often outlandish plots, they manage to hold a mirror up to society.
Yeah.
They reflect our anxieties and our aspirations and our ever-evolving understanding of ourselves.
You know, you're right. It's like they take these universal human experiences, love, loss, betrayal, ambition, and crank up the volume, giving us this heightened, almost operatic version of real life.
Exactly. Think about those early soap operas that were so heavily focused on family and marital issues.
Right. They were a reflection of the social norms and expectations of the time.
Right.
But as society changed, as women entered the workforce and gender roles shifted, so did the storylines of these shows.
Yeah, we saw storylines about women pursuing careers, grappling with infidelity, navigating the challenges of single parenthood.
Right.
It's like the soaps were acknowledging the changing landscape of relationships and families.
Precisely. And they didn't shy away from tackling difficult social issues either.
Right. We talked about The Guiding Light bringing uterine cancer into the living room.
Yes.
Which sparked important conversations and encouraged women to seek early detection.
It did.
A powerful example of how these shows can influence viewers' perceptions and behaviors. They're not just entertainment. They can be catalysts for social change.
Absolutely. And it's not just limited to social issues either.
Okay.
Soap operas also explore our anxieties about money and status and power.
Yeah.
All those stories of corporate intrigue, bitter rivalries, family feuds, they tap into our very human desires for success and recognition.
It's like they're playing out our deepest fears and aspirations on screen.
Yeah.
Showing us the consequences of unchecked ambition and the complexities of power dynamics.
And that's why they resonate with so many people.
Yeah.
They offer a glimpse into a world where those conflicts are amplified, where the stakes are high, and where emotions run wild.
It's a form of escapism, sure, but it's also a way of processing our own experiences and anxieties.
Yeah.
Of exploring the gray areas of morality and the consequences of our choices.
Exactly. And as we've discussed, soap operas have constantly evolved to reflect our changing understanding of ourselves.
Yeah.
They've incorporated storylines about LGBTQ+ relationships, mental health, and cultural diversity, pushing the boundaries of representation and challenging traditional norms.
It's like they're holding up a mirror to our evolving society, reflecting the growing awareness and acceptance of different identities and perspectives.
They are. They're not just passive reflections of reality.
Right.
They're active participants in shaping our cultural landscape.
Wow.
And they remind us that these seemingly outlandish plots often stem from very real human experiences.
This deep dive has been so enlightening. I never realized how multifaceted and impactful soap operas could be.
They're a fascinating genre, full of contradictions and complexities.
Yeah.
They can be heartwarming and heartbreaking, thought-provoking, and purely entertaining. But at their core, they're stories about us, about our hopes and fears, our dreams and struggles, and that messy, beautiful tapestry of human relationships.
And they remind us that we're not alone in those experiences.
Exactly. They offer a sense of shared experience, a reminder that we're all connected in some way.
So to our listeners, the next time you catch a glimpse of a soap opera, whether it's a dramatic confrontation or a tender moment between two characters, take a moment to appreciate the deeper layers at play.
You might be surprised by what you discover, and you might even find yourself getting drawn into those intricate worlds of love, loss, and of course, drama.
Of course, the drama. Well, that's it for a deep dive into the world of soap operas. Until next time.
Happy soaping!